begin this conversation, taking our quote first from Franklin D. Roosevelt, who once said, "Human kindness has never weakened the stamina or softened the fiber of a free people. A nation does not have to be cruel to be tough." Absolutely spot on. My next quote is from Abraham Lincoln, who once said, "If this country is ever demoralized, it will come from trying to live without work." Agreed. Okay, my next one is from Chris Jami, who once said, "The greater ignorance towards the country is not ignoring what its politicians have to say. It is ignoring what the inmates in its prisons have to say." Means everyone matters. And from that said, my last one will be from Tim Marshall, who once said that all great nations spend peacetime preparing for the daybreak or the day war breaks out. Very warm greetings and welcome to The Conversation. We're reaching you from KAFTAN's television studio here in the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Annabelle Oji. Now let's see how this could relate to what we'll be discussing tonight. And we've seen how the state of the nation has panned out over time. Reactions are still falling in with regards to food insecurity, with regards to the surge in food items in the market or every other item in the market, and even the naira to the dollar is not saying anything good at the moment. But then we were told to keep having renewed hope. Let me use President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's word, "Ema farabale, ema fokonbale, ama bewale." Let's see how that pans out. My guest on the show tonight is Richard Oriri, who is a politician, and we'll be looking at the state, the current state, and the mood of the nation. Welcome to the show, Richard Oriri.
It's my pleasure, Annabelle.
Great. All right, now let's start with we'll talk about the state of the nation, but now let's first of all talk about the fact that things are expensive. How the inflation gone record high, the price of the dollar to the naira and all, and then President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is still optimistic in the fact that definitely with all of the policies that they've rolled out, things will definitely come back to normal. I remember the last conversation I had with Habib Gajo, the Bureau, the change operator, and he said that the new policy that is coming up from the Central Bank of Nigeria that will be brought forth during the MPC meeting scheduled to hold in March 8 will definitely reduce the amount or the price or the fluctuations that we find or the precipitous decline of our national currency compared to other global currencies. And now it means everybody is optimistic that things will get good. So we would like to hear from you, especially people who see politicians as we are the ones that are suffering, we are the ones that are at the neck of the wood or at the receiving end, while the politicians are the ones that are enjoying it. How optimistic are you with regards to all these policies that has been rolled out and the fact that in the next coming days there's light at the end of this tunnel?
Just like every patriotic Nigerian, I am one of them, and I have to believe in my country, and I have to believe in the government as well. As a patriotic citizen, you don't go against your leaders. What you do is to assist them from your enclave, no matter how small where you hide is. You have to keep assisting those in government governing position. And from the look of things, the policies of this current administration, so far from the look of things, we have to wait. It's a process, and since it's a process, everything that goes with process will definitely get to the end of it. And we are on the verge of seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. The process is the implementation now. They have rolled out the policies. The implementation is gradually ongoing, and as the implementation is gradually ongoing, you see that the price of dollar is actually dropping down. It's actually dropping down. And if by what they are telling us that we should go back to use our currency more than depending on the foreign currency, definitely the differences will crash, definitely. And price of goods and services will equally come down, definitely. The other day, the GMD of NNPC was telling Nigerians, he came on air to tell Nigerians that in few months to come, Nigeria will stop importation of oil. This is not exportation again, importation. We used to export crude, refine and bring the refined product to the country. So, but soon that we will not even export the crude, not to even talk of importing the oil into the country, that everything will be produced, processed in this country. And once we are processing in the country, I think we'll have in abundance. And before you know it, what happened to MTN in those days, as at the year 2000, when MTN came into this country, SIM card was bought for like 15, 20 something thousand naira. But today,
even more than that,
they give it out for free because there was monopoly. But once the processing of crude is done in this country, the refinery in Kaduna, the one in Port Harcourt, the one in most of these geopolitical zones start working, and we produce in this country, definitely the price of fuel will come down, because even you may even decide to venture into the business of fuel supply. And if many Nigerians go into the business, before you know it, the price you will be selling might be different from the one I will be selling. The one I sell will be different from the one the other person is saying. I might choose to sell for 50 naira per liter, while you choose to sell for 75 naira per liter. By the grace of God, we will get to that point, and Nigerians will feel the impact of what the current administration is doing.
So I hear you talk about prices of fuel and all, and then I remember, and then you talked about something about monopoly.
Yes.
I remember President Bola Ahmed Tinubu asking cement makers, especially Dangote and Boa Cement, that they should return their prices to the formal price or to the normal price. And I'm wondering, what is the normal price? Because as at today, I talked to someone who is building, and then she said she buys a bag for 15,000, but since she's buying in bulk over 400, that they reduced it a little bit. So if you ask people, the Dangotes, the Boa Cement, to reduce their price to the normal price, then I'm wondering how they're supposed to go about it. And shouldn't we also be talking about cracking down the monopoly, even in that sector also? Because remember, we used to have Ashake Cement, we used to have Sokoto Cement, and then is it Ibeto Cement or so? Shouldn't we have more people in that cycle?
Definitely, that should be the way to go. Discussing with somebody yesterday, I said the major problem we are having in this country is that the citizens, we are the problem of ourselves. Nigerian citizens.
How so?
We like inflicting pain on ourselves. We agitated that importation of anything cement should stop, so that our brothers who are in the business of cement production in the country will be patronized. That is Dangote, Boa, and all of Ibetos and all of those people. But the moment that leverage was given to them, they started using that opportunity to undoing the citizens. If they allow importation of cement into the country, it will be everywhere. And the monopoly that they are enjoying today will be crushed. I could remember in those days when we used to watch NTA Channel 8 Enugu from our side, television. But when private sector came into it, that we started having AIT, another TV station like KAFTAN television now, now Rise came, it's a channel and all. The monopoly was cut off. So now you have the choice to make. You have too many choice to make. You pick your remote, any channel you like, you watch. Unlike in those days that the only channel you can watch is the NTL that will even give you Apollo. So if we break that monopoly, definitely it will help us. But as the president have come up to tell them, we should not just push the blame on the government all the time. We should equally, as citizens, try to help the government. If they have given, the government have given you this opportunity to say Nigerian product, homemade product should be patronized, both to citizens and government. Anybody that wants to buy cement, buy it from your brother. You only try to help these your brothers and the government as well. So he has told them what he is supposed to tell them, and I pray they listen to him. Because if they don't listen to him, it's the same Nigerians who said the importation of cement should be stopped, that will force those that they have elected to represent them to open border for more for importation of cement into the country. And once that happens, they will be the one to lose. And I know what Nigerians can do. They can even change their mind not to even patronize Dangote and Bua if they should allow importation of cement to come into the country again, because they have seen that they inflicted pain on them, and they will use that to punish them by not patronizing them. So I think they should toe the line of patriots and think on how to help their country.
All right, let's move straight to the National Assembly and talk about National Assembly matters with regards to the committees that has been set up before now. Different kind of committees, either committee for banking, or committee for aviation, committee for ICT.
123 or 121 committees, standing committees. That one is House of Representatives.
Yes,
Senate,
House of Representatives.
Let's
stay on House of Representatives, because I know that's your forte. How would you assess their activities over time? Because I remember before, most times when you talk about these committees, the thing that comes to mind is those ones, they just want to, what they have in mind is, let's just have one juicy committee where we'll be springing, where that will be like a channel to take money from. But having you, that you at least you know a little about it, or at least to an extent, would you actually say that they have touched on the right things that they're supposed to do as the committee?
Yes, the committee, after the inauguration of the National Assembly on the 13th of June 2023, after the inauguration of the National Assembly, then some week again, the different committees was announced, their chairman and vice chairman. Then later, the members of the committees too was announced. And since the inauguration, even up to this year, some committees were not inaugurated. Like that media and the public affairs was inaugurated few weeks ago. That was in April, was inaugurated. Not that they have not been working, but there's some other committees that were inaugurated earlier, like banking institutions and some other committees. They have been working so well. They've been working so well, inviting the agencies, the MDAs under their supervision to actually come and explain to them how they are implementing government policies. Because the National Assembly, their major role is to make laws. They make laws, they not acts that give the executive the leeway to implementing some of these government policies in a way that will better the life of the citizens. So, in the process of supervision, I can call it oversight, because these policies that the executive they are implementing after the National Assembly have enacted the law and the executive are sent to it for implementation. The executive is still the one implementing. So the oversight function, they are doing very well. They are doing very, very well.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest and 10 being the highest.
They are doing very well, but not if you want to rate them. If you want to rate like over about 120 something committees is set up so far. I can say about 30% have done excellently well. Okay. But the rest of that ones, they are still sleeping. I can say they are sleeping. So, and that is another angle that we have to talk about. The speaker who have set them up. Anyone that is not up and doing should be changed. Any committee chairman that is not up and doing, you have to work on them. Either call them to order and for them to stand up and start working for Nigerians.
So the onus lies on the House of Rep.
The speaker. They are all working. They are reporting to him, and he's the one supervising them. He's the one supervising them because he cannot be everywhere. As the Speaker of the House of Representatives, he cannot be everywhere, and he has the passion. He has that passion to working for Nigerians, and that is why he has keenly selected these men and women of integrity to chair these different committees and to manage these different committees by giving them the marching order to do the oversight function very, very well. And he came up with another idea again of a digital monitoring, because once they implement that one now, even there will be no need that you go and call any MDA, any director of any ministry, any agency, say, we need this document, we need. As they are operating digitally, you know what is going on in the ministry. From the National Assembly, you know how it is run. And they will not have anything to hide. It has not been like that before in the history of this country. So as they are going digital in the monitoring of NDAs, once that is implemented, I know very well that everyone, because in the past, the problem we are having is policy implementation. The process of implementation has always been a problem. And these MDAs, ministers and directors and ministers, DGs of different agencies of this government, they have been the one that are circumventing the nation by not doing what is right in the process of implementing some of these government policies. So if National Assembly is putting torchlight, like from what the current National Assembly, the House of Representatives is doing, they are doing, if they should put strong torchlight on them in their oversight function, I think they will do very well. And I think that is why you see some of these, like FCT committee is being chaired by Honorable Betara. Before in Gwarimpa, it's not too many places you see water. But with the assistance of the current committee of the House of Representatives chaired by Honorable Betara, in collaboration, synergy with the current Minister of FCT, you see there's water almost everywhere.
Are we talking about only water? How about electricity?
The electricity as well.
Security.
FCT has changed. FCT has changed.
Has it?
If you go around FCT, you see projects, you see work going on everywhere. Everywhere. If it is the water issue, FCT minister, he gave marching order that they should be. Like this morning, I was telling my wife, because sometimes the ration water where I live in Gwarimpa. So I was telling my wife, is it water that if you turn now, you see water rushing? Is this not magic? I can call it.
Did you sleep and wake up with electricity yesterday night?
I slept and woke up with I was even watching a news on television before leaving my house.
How about the day before? How about today?
No, a day before they gave light for some time and then it went off. Then towards evening time they brought again. That one it fluctuated. It fluctuated the day before, but for yesterday there was light all through.
So that's what we are saying. You said that FCC is better now, but now the electricity issue seems to be worse. Security, the same thing.
But the electricity issue what we are experiencing, the electricity issue angle in few days now is because of the vandalization that took place.
That's what we're saying.
But they are rectifying it, and that is why you can even see light more than before. Before, if they give you light for 3 hours, in the next 14-15 hours, you will not see light. But from what we are experiencing a few days ago, like 4-5 days ago, I think there's changes, and I think they are working very seriously to fixing what the problem is.
Let's move to other stories. Let's stay on the constitution review. We've been told that very soon all of that happened few months or few years ago would actually come to an end. And I'm seeing on New Telegraph that says constable recruitment, why Senate's resolution will give Kano State 440 policemen, Lagos 200 policemen, and Bayelsa is taking 80 policemen. Do you actually think that this is the right way to go? Especially places like Bayelsa, 80. That kind of rationing. Should we be talking about such rationing at the moment?
The reason for this police allocation is what I don't know now. What is the reason for the allocation of this police to these zones, to these states? And if they say Kano, 80.
Kano is taking 440.
440.
Lagos is taking 200.
Lagos is taking 200. It could be because of the population. Like in Nigeria today, there are 3 major states that control highest population in the country. You talk of Kano, you talk of Lagos and Rivers, followed by Kaduna. So, policing of human life and property is about how many persons in this place.
And not how crime thrives in that place.
How crime thrives can still be tracked by technology. But the number of persons, like in the advanced country, maybe possibly I think 10 persons per policeman. 10 persons per policeman. But in Nigeria, so we can say 200 persons per policeman, a policeman by one police, 200, even 300 itself. Because in the whole of my community, over 2,000 people, we don't have one police station. We can't, for some time, we will not even see policeman with uniform for like 4, 5, 7 months. We've not seen policeman except when a policeman followed either a politician to the community. We don't have, in the olden days, where the country was where it was supposed to be. Every political ward in this country has a police station. Not just local government. We have 774 local governments in Nigeria. And in some of these local government, like in my local government, we have 10 wards under the local government. And these 10 wards ought to have police station. At least manned by about 10 or 15 police officers. Even 15 police officers, they are still not enough for a community. But in Nigeria, majority of our local communities will not even have a police station. So the challenge is there. And that is why we are saying that the issue of unemployment that we are crying about, the issue of lack of personnel in the Nigerian police that we are talking about to giving Nigerians serious security it lies in the hands of the IG and the president of this country, that they should recruit Nigerians who are passionate about serving their country, either in the security sector. If they should recruit the current administration now by this restructuring, if they said, okay, every political ward in Nigeria should have a police station, it's very right, it's good, because the major role of a government is to protect life and properties.
All right.
So if they should say, they should make it as a law that every ward in this country, political ward in this country, should have police station manned by at least 20 personnel. It will be very good, and recruitment will come immediately. We have graduates who can join the Nigerian police and serve in that capacity. All
right, Richard, let's go to another. I actually came across a particular statement made by the governor of Abia State, that's Alex Oti, and he said, quote, "I have done 5% of the 100% plans I have for Aba. I am here to shock Nigerians and tell them that their governors are all thieves, and by the time I'm done working, you will stone your governor anywhere you see him. Hold your governors accountable. The president is doing what he's supposed to be doing. I give him kudos. He's not our problem in Nigeria, but the governors." Alex Oti vows to shock Nigerians as he expresses that governors are thieves and promises accountability. What are your thoughts on this regard?
That's a statement coming from a true Nigerian, a true statesman. Yes.
So you agree with him?
If the burning desire in him to serve his people, the way he's saying it now, can be put to use practically, and I think he's doing his best. I celebrated the New Year in Abia State, in Isiochi, my in-law community. I celebrated my New Year in Isiochi, and I saw what happened. Unlike before, that people don't come home during festive period like that because of kidnapping, because of all of that. The whole of Isiochi town was filled with their people who came home to celebrate the New Year with their mothers and fathers, unlike before. That is to say, the governor is working very well. Security has come to normal in Abia State. Infrastructure has come to normal in Abia State. What he's saying now, I read something that he talked about. He said he wants to make Abia like Dubai, not to make Abia like Lagos. That Lagos is not even is not close to his vision for Abia. That is passion. And from what he's saying, because we will hold him by his words if he fails to deliver. And truly, as he said, we have to hold our governors responsible. The governor of Kaduna State said it the other day. He said, after removing the subsidy, that what they are gaining, what the federal government is gaining from the subsidy removal, he channeled it to the state and local government. That they are receiving more than what they used to receive. And that's why he has been able to pay workers. He is not owing any worker in Kaduna State. Even pensioners, he's paying them. And infrastructure is going on. Development, road construction and other things, they are going on. So we have to hold our governors responsible. Like in Benue State, we have 21 local governments. If the allocation has tripled, I think like all they can think about education. Because if we want to really fight poverty in this country, we have to go to microeconomic growth.
So going back to your state as an example,
yes.
In Benue State, are you going to hold Governor Reverend Alia for taking a cue from what the Abia State governor said, that he has done 5% of the 100%, so the federal government is not the problem, but your state governor. So, Richard, are you holding your governor accountable for anything wrong that he has not done yet, that he promised to do before he got into that position?
I'll hold him responsible. And for now that I am still watching, and
you're still watching?
No, for now that I am still watching and seeing what he's doing. Before, in the past, we have no single part of the Benue State that you point at flyover, and we have a hold up everywhere. I heard the flyover is going on now in 2 places in Makurdi. We've never experienced such before.
So that's progress for you.
That is progress. And road constructions are going on in some parts of the state.
How about security?
As you see me, I'm a development person. I love development. I'm in politics. I'm not in politics for it. I'm in politics to better the life of the poor masses, especially at the rural communities. But if I have the opportunity, I have the opportunity to advise him. I will still tell him that he should channel most of his policies to pro-poor. His policies should be pro-poor policies. That is microeconomic growth, especially at the rural level. Revamping our local markets and giving securities to the local communities, that if they are in the market, they will not be attacked. In our local market, most of our farmers, they don't farm to take to abroad. They take their farm produce to the local market to enable them have something that they will use to equally inject into their farm again. But most of our local market in Benue State, they have all gone into extinction because of insecurity. That is one. And that is why you see that if you go to villages today, most people don't even have 50 naira. If anybody come to you and say, for the past 3 months, I have not seen 50 naira, don't doubt the person. Because they don't have means of selling even what they have to turn it to cash.
All right.
Because of insecurity. Then another part of it again, I will advise him to go back to education development, especially primary and secondary education. If you demand him employing graduates within Benue State to serve as teachers in all the communities in Benue State, like in Benue State we have 276 political wards. These 276 political wards in Benue State, out of 21 local government areas, 276 wards. If we can build sound infrastructure in the schools now, sound schools, buildings in like 5 primary schools, 5 primary, original, pick 5 primary schools from each of the political wards, and in fact, reconstruct the primary school to a modern primary school, public primary schools, and then recruit teachers to teach in these schools. You see, everything will change because the moment we develop, we train the younger ones from primary to secondary school. we will get it right when they are going to university.
All right.
But that we are not getting it right from primary and secondary school. And that is why the poverty level is so high. Because those who are even completing their primary education and secondary education, they are not even good to even go to university and study and become useful to the society.
All right, we need to go on a break. But then, with all these resolutions that you have given, Governor Oti says if he does at least to a certain percent, it means we should stone our governors and call them thieves. We are waiting to see if some of these resolutions you made, if they are not able to do it, at least you say you are still watching. By the time we get to 2 years, you should not still be watching. You should be.
I am watching. I am not talking because I am seeing some improvement. That is why I say I'm still watching.
That's what I'm saying. That when you get to 2 years, you should no longer be watching. You should start evaluating.
By May this year, there will be one. They will complete 1 year.
That's what we are saying. So by the time they get to 1 year, then the second year,
I will come boldly
to ask you if he's a thief.
I'll come back to ask question or to speak in favor or against on the 29th of May 2024.
So then that's no, I want to give it at least 2 years, not 1 year.
No. After 2 years. This one year. Okay, so after 1 year,
they
have to still give us.
After 1 year, Richard Oriri, we should be asking you, is your governor a thief or not?
Very well.
Let's go on a quick break, and when we return, we'll continue this conversation with Richard Oriri, politician. See you after this time out. Join us again. Welcome back. If you just joined us, this is The Conversation. We're reaching you from KAFTAN's television studio here in the nation's capital, Abuja. If you just joined us, you've actually missed out on the first part of the show, but then we'll go to the concluding session. And we're still with Richard Oriri, who is a politician, as we're assessing the current state and mood of the nation, and also other matters arising. Okay, let's move to other stories and then talk about other things. Let's talk about the Orosonya's report, the recommendations that were made, and then a lot of people have come out to say that it's actually a good step in the right direction. But then the government says that they're taking that step because they need to cut the cost of governance. And then we keep hearing, cut your coat according to your size, according to your material, according to your fabric, or whatever the state, the case may be. But then I hear someone say that they say we should cut our coat according to our size, but then are they cutting their coat according to their size? Because if you look at the fact that you go to the market, prices of things are still expensive. A pack of Indomie is over 22,000 naira. That's for the big one, and then the small one is about 12,000. And then still, no matter what, we still have to eat. So then the government says that cut your coat according to your size, as they are cutting cost of governance. But then on the flip side, you have the president traveling with over 38-man delegates, and then they're traveling with others, and then you just begin to wonder, are they really cutting their coat according to their size, or is this cherry picking? But then let's stay on the Orosonya's report. What are your thoughts with regards to the Orosonya's report? Is this actually a way to cut cost of governance, and then bring the true dividends of democracy and governance to the people, especially to the people of the grassroots level that you talked about?
The Orosonya's report is not about the present administration. The report was written having the interests of the Nigerian masses in mind.
That's about 12 years ago.
Complaints coming from Nigerians in the past. Those are things they put together to put in the report in a way and manner that it will solve most of those problems that Nigerians have been agitating, like issue of more state to be created, issue of the Gbagi people in FCT. They say they cannot remain like this without having their own states. The Orosonya's report is recommended that the FCT should be made a state and still maintain the Federal Capital Territory, just like it was in Lagos. When the Federal Capital Territory was in Lagos, Lagos was equally a state. So that such things should happen in FCT. Like yesterday, the FCT minister kind of telling us the template of how this place will be. He has established about 6 different ministries that about 6 permanent secretaries will be appointed to by him now to manage some of the ministries. So they are already implementing, gradually building the ground for such things.
They also have mergers of
some ministries. Mergers of some ministries and agencies, like they say EFCC, ICPC, Public Complaint Commission, Code of Conduct Bureau. The code of, among all of these, that they will merge them together. Among all of these, EFCC, ICPC, a Public Complaint Commission, it is the act of the National Assembly that established them. But Code of Conduct Bureau is the constitution that established it. So for that reason, if they are merging, these other ones will merge with Code of Conduct Bureau, that is originally established by the law, by the Constitution of Nigeria. It's in the Constitution, you understand? So if they should merge these 4 departments of government to one, I think it's very good, because if you talk of EFCC, why are you stealing government money? Why this person give you money and you refuse to give account to the person that EFCC, the work of the EFCC? It's still part of Code of Conduct. The Code of Conduct is to check your conduct as civil servant. As a civil servant, these are levels you can go, these are levels you can go. As a civil servant, as a citizen of this country, this is what you are supposed to do. If you want to contest election, before you go into public service, you have to declare your assets, telling Nigerians what you have before you are going to manage their resources, so that at the end you will not use that office because they have given it to you to manage, to enrich yourself. So tell us what you have before you go in, so that as you are leaving, anytime you leave, we will compare what you have when you are leaving to what you have before you came in, and see whether you steal or not. So the Code of Conduct will be the mother of all if they should merge. Then Ministry of Information and Culture, to me, they have to scrap what we call National Orientation Agency.
Why so?
Because the Ministry of Information and Culture is playing the role already. National Orientation Agency, Ministry of Information and Culture, they are doing that. They are orientating the Nigerian citizens on how to behave, how to respect their country, and even the Code of National Orientation Agency, they are not even playing their role. Most of these things happening, like the red line, like some of these our ministries, media houses, they are doing. They are crossing the red line, denting the image of this country. If you go to media houses, to TV, if you tune to any television station, you will hear analysts, you will even hear anchors of such TV stations saying nasty things about the country, instead of projecting the image of your country before the external world, the global world, in a good light. You are that is, we have no value for our country. And the National Orientation Agency, these are areas where they are supposed to be talking to Nigerians. You don't have to do this as a citizen. You place the interest of your country above your self-interest. Anything that will bring down the image of your country, you don't do it. Like stealing self is as a citizen, you are not supposed to steal from public purse. You are supposed to use the resources of the masses to better their life, so that Nigerians will have dignified life. You use the resources objectively, providing water, roads. Now in Nigeria, even payment of salary has become something that they will even go on media to celebrate, that this government is paying salary. Yes, in Benue State, we saw it. We are seeing it today as something that is strange. Can this be done? Because in the past, the governors, they are not paying salaries.
People just work and they don't collect their
salary. You understand? Even sometimes if you want to pay, they pay half. But today, from the information I'm getting from Benue, the governor is paying salary. He has paid all the backlog of salary, and he is paying consistently. Even the senior citizens who have served the state and retired, that have not been getting anything from government in return to appreciating them for what they have done for the state. He's giving them their pension. So I think National Orientation Agency, they have to scrap it so that we can manage, we can manage a Ministry of Information and Culture. You understand? So the merging doesn't mean that some people are complaining that if they should merge or scrap some agencies, it will lead to unemployment, that some people will be laid off and all of that. I don't think it will happen, because already they have been given the employment. They have, all of them have employment letter, and your employment cannot be terminated just like that. If the government come up to say, okay, I'm merging your ministry to this ministry, or I'm merging your agency to this agency, they have no right to use that to use that as an excuse to sack you. No, if they are merging, they will equally merge the staff together. So now, except when you are not doing what you are supposed to do as an employee of government, or you are a ghost worker, that's when they will scrap your name off from the payroll, the IPPIS. So no Nigerians should be afraid of these policies. Let us see, because we have not really seen government policies in this direction, that implementation going on, and they will just come up with policy, no proper implementation. But this one that they are coming with implementation, now let us wait and give the current administration that opportunity to see how it will go. And I think at the end, all of us will be very happy with the current administration.
All right, so the Punch newspaper, because we talked about EFCC, says banks involved in 70% of financial crimes and fraud. Do you agree?
I was discussing with somebody the other day that in Nigeria, some individuals, citizens, they don't go into the banking business to serve the country or to serve the masses, but rather to make money out of the poor masses. Yes, most of the crimes are committed, let's say all this internet fraud and some of these POS, cyber crime. There is no how there will be success in that line without collaborating with the people, the insiders. There's one thing in America they call the insider. The insider, and the other way, we politicians we coined it to be in-house enemy. You get my point? So in every bank they have it. People inside who feed the outside people the information on how to steal from the bank. And some of these bankers, they know the people that have died, and the families cannot have access to their account. And some of them, they are the account officers. So they know the signature of this man. They can even forge the signature and try to see how they steal from this account. And even the bankers, once they see that the bank owners, the moment they see that this person is dead, is late, and he has money in they will make it so stiff.
How are they able to know that the person is late?
They will know now. Sometimes they publish it on newspapers, sometimes they even announce it on television. From there you know. And the bank owners, they know the big people who keep money with them. And as they die, some bank owners even take the money without even giving it back to the family members. They're still in that line. Like the other time that they were deducting money from Nigerians. Every transaction you make 50 naira, so 80 something naira. Banks were stealing from poor Nigerians.
And they call it so many different
and
names.
They don't remit to government. You understand? The other day I was my friend and very good Nigerian, Honorable Wachukwueze, the chairman House Committee on Banking Institution. He was telling us how some of these banks, the money that they collect, that they are not remitting to government. Like he said, there was one bank, he said the bank paid off their own. He said, UBA paid, one other bank paid. But Zenith Bank, if you count the amount that Zenith Bank is owing federal government, it's too high.
Yes, you still see all these kind of deduction. Recently, I went to the bank and I said, why are you people removing 50 naira from every transaction made into my account? So you pay into my account.
Billions.
And you're removing the money.
The past government who are supposed to make it, to enforce this on them, that you must remit this money to government, they don't do it. If not until now that we are having different Nigerians on board as House of Rep members and as chairman of different committees who are out to serve the country.
How are you so sure that they are all out to serve?
They are not out to serve. Somebody like Honorable Nwachukwueze now, who is the chairman banking institution, House of Representatives, will not come up with this.
Haven't you heard of situations? Haven't you heard of situations where even the same bank people would they are owing 50,000, but then they will say, "Oga, we'll pay you 45,000. Let's just as bribe." And
that's what is happening.
50,000.
It's because these people have refused such arrangement, and that is why you see you are hearing it out now. You are hearing it now. That's why it's before the Nigerian public now that this is what is happening. So they are on the neck of Zenith Bank to remit that money to government. So a lot is happening within the banking sector, and the government have to come up with policies that will seriously check them. And this EFCC chairman, I can commend him, because to even make this comment that he has made, it's not every EFCC chairman that can do it. Because most of them, they are friends to these big Nigerians who own these banks. UBA is owned by Yelumelu. Zenith Bank is owned by Jimovia. We know all of them Nigerians who own these banks. So our brother Wigwe was head of Access Bank, and we know them. But majority of them, they don't have the interests of this country at heart. So they are using the bank to. That is why sometimes, if you go to prisons, you see the people in the prison, they are the poor people who have stolen maybe granite, some matches. They will throw them to prison. And if EFCC release list of people that they have jailed to boost their image that they are working, you will see that they are just people who steal handset, who use a phone to take money from their mother's account. But these big people that are stealing, doing advanced free fraud, seriously, they are not in prison. There is another question that we have to ask the EFCC chairman. Why are some of these people not in prison? And the poor Nigerians who are into little internet fraud that they are grabbing like you.
Are you justifying those who are into internet fraud?
Crime is crime. Crime is crime. Crime is crime.
Regardless of how the
natural justice that we were taught in the university in elementary law. There are two major principles of natural law, of natural justice. You cannot be judging a case. Two, there must be a fair hearing in every case before you give judgment. So now, most of them who are managing some of these our government institutions, they have turned themselves to be judge in their case, because some of these people who are into this crime in the banking sector, they are big friends of these big people in government institutions. That no, I cannot investigate this person. He's my friend. He's my relation. You get my point? So they have turned themselves to be judges in their case. And so the poor people that they are throwing into jail, they are not having justice. There is no natural justice in what they are doing. So that is my point. And if they can scrutinize the banking sector in Nigeria, I think crime will be drastically reduced. Yes.
All right, so we'll move straight to our last topic for today. And I say on Daily Sun says clock ticks for DSS, NIA, DG, and NIA DGs and IGPs, police chief to retire this year. Extended tenure of intelligence agencies heads under focus. And I recall that during the last administration, there were so much reactions, hue and cries here and there with regards to how those who were supposed to retire were still allowed to stay in service. Do you actually see this happening again? Even though some of these heads were just appointed recently during this the coming of this administration.
It depends on the person managing the state, managing the country. Buhari, President Muhammadu Buhari, our elder statesman, who handed over to the current president, he saw it to himself. He saw that he has to extend, even when the law says the moment you get to the peak of your service, you have to get to the exit point and go and allow another person to come in. He did that. And some Nigerians who are lawyers, who really want the law to be interpreted, they went to court challenging that action. And the other day I saw on the television, the Federal High Court concerning that matter. The lawyer is actually pushing for that person to refund even salary and everything he has benefited from government for that period, to return it back to government. And the President Tinubu that I know, I think he will not go against the law. He will not go against the law. Because if he should go against the law, the same law establishes the office that he's occupying. And I think he will respect the law by not extending the tenure of any of these officers whose tenure elapsed.
Because we're going to remind him of the fact that during his speech, when he was inauguration speech, that he stated that he's going to go according to the rule of law and not sentiment.
That is how it should be, and we are expecting as citizens that he will go by his words.
All right. Richard Oriri, politician, it's always a pleasure having this talk with you.
It's my pleasure.
All right, viewers, that's where we end this conversation for today. And I would like to remind us of that musician or that song by African China that says, if you're a president, lead us well. If you're a governor, govern us well. If you're a senator, senate them well. And if you're a police well. No, they take bribe. That's talking to all of us. We all have our hands in this cookie jar. If you are that man who is a businessman, and I saw a particular video where someone says, I paid for cement at 4,000 naira. Or I paid for a particular item for 4,000 naira, and when I want to go and pick it 2 hours later, the person selling the item decided to double the price and say, I checked in the market and it has doubled. Oga, why are you doubling the price when I've already paid at the old price? It means we all are also truly our own problem. So we all should put our hands together to ensure that Nigeria is great again. Don't come to the TV and speak badly of your own country. Remember, we only have this our own country. If you don't have a dual citizen, then why exactly are you bashing your country? That's where I'll leave it for today. That's some food for thought for you. Remember, we all only have this one country, and we should do it well. My name is Annabelle Oji.